It's time for another ranking. These are all 6 Terminator movies ranked. Starting off in last place is Terminator Genisys. PG-13 Terminator movies are just a bad idea. It's like this movie was trying to reboot the franchise, but just in a really bad way. It's got several other issues, like in the first 10 minutes, the Skynet core is destroyed and the Terminator is just shut down. So how come they still work when they travel back in time? And speaking of time travel, they say that clothes and weapons can't survive the trip. So how does the Terminator, who is mostly made of metal, make it back okay? Also, the T-800 says he's old but not obsolete. But there are Terminators more advanced than he is, so yeah, he kinda is obsolete. And why would you make John Connor a villain? And why didn't he just kill Kyle and Sarah early on? And with the movie ending with Kyle and Sarah in the present, wouldn't John not exist because the conditions he was conceived in were different? I don't have a lot of positive things to say about this one, but at least it got Arnold back, and J.K. Simmons is always good. So yeah. In the number 5 spot, I have Terminator Dark Fate. I really don't see why this movie has to exist. It's extremely dull, contradicts the T-800's programming, outright disrespects T2, and makes the first 2 movies feel pointless. I think I said all I needed to in my review of it. Number 4 is Terminator Salvation. A Terminator movie set during the war is a cool idea, but overall it doesn't feel like a Terminator movie. It just feels like a generic war movie with John Connor and the Terminators. So how can you have a Terminator movie without Arnold? That is basically sacrilege. And when they showed the T-800 having molten steel poured on him, he's immune to it, but in Terminator 2, it kills him. What's up with that? But the biggest issue is that the movies say that if your future parents are killed, you will not exist. And Skynet captures the teenage Kyle Reese and plans to capture John and kill him, so why didn't they just kill Kyle Reese from the beginning? And let's just move on. At number 3, I have Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines. Anyone else realize that Rise of the Machines sounds like a prequel? And there really is no Rise of the Machines in the movie. This is where the franchise started to go downhill, and it just got worse from there. This movie is just boring. It makes an hour and 40 whatever minutes feel so much longer. And it's got jokes that aren't funny either, and the effects are pretty bad too. The TX is like a mix between the T1000 and the T800. But as much as it pains me to say these words, Dark Fate did it better, which is something I never thought I'd say. In second place, we have a major jump in quality, and that is The Terminator. This movie is pretty awesome. It's got awesome action, likable characters, badass villain, and overall it's just a really good movie. It's more like a horror movie than the other movies in the series, and the T-800 is at its most horrifying in this. However, this movie really does confuse me, as John Connor's existence is a paradox, like his future father going back in time and conceiving him with his mother. It just makes it all confusing. Also, what happened to the T-800's eyebrows? And finally, number 1 is Terminator 2, Judgment Day. This movie definitely deserves all the praise that it gets. This is definitely one of the best sci-fi movies ever made, and one of the best action movies ever made. Everything about this movie is quality. This movie's really got it all. Epic story, badass villain, badass hero, a good female lead, and a good child actor. The alternate ending for this movie is how the movie should have ended. The ending for this movie that they went with leaves it open for all the bad sequels. They should have just stopped after this one because there's no point in continuing. So yeah, T2 is amazing. So that was my Terminator ranking. Hope you enjoyed, and more videos coming soon.